Hey, this is ThinkerThunker. Remember this clip? As the story goes, this couple is hiking this old logging road up in Mission, BC, and they spy this guy way down by the lake doing something. Who knows what? Well, I found a couple of interesting things about this. One, it doesn't appear he's alone. And two, he does something that I don't believe any human on the planet can do. So stick around, and I'm gonna stabilize this thing, zoom in, enhance it, and we'll take a closer look. We'll just start back here at the beginning, and we see the big guy coming out of the hole there. And he moves in behind this tree, and now we're gonna see where he's reaching up towards this white floating orb. I'm kidding, of course. It's just, I can't tell what's there. It doesn't look like there's a tree or anything. But anyway, there's the reach, and it appears he took something, and now he pivots back to his right and did a tossing motion. And lo and behold, the big guy is a southpaw. That's funny to me. I don't know why, it just kind of strikes me as funny. And by the way, he appears to be pretty large. And he also appears to be wearing at least a head-to-toe dark suit. That's all I'll say about that. Can large guys wear black jumpers and go fishing? Sure. Okay, so now he moves back over towards the hole. And, you know, I am not saying that this is a Bigfoot, but see this? That is a big foot. I don't care what you say. Now he steps off into this hole, and look how he does it. Kind of brings his leg way up like he's some sort of drum major or something, and then steps off into a waist-deep hole. And then he comes over and see this arm gesture he's doing? The first time I was scrubbing through here, I thought, oh, well, it is just some hiker, camper, fisherman, or whatever. And he's taking his ball cap or his glasses off and plopping them down. And by the way, he's not doing it that many times. I'm just scrubbing backwards and forwards. And then he did something kind of odd. He came on over and repeated the gesture. So I thought, why? Is he wearing two ball caps? Is he signaling for somebody to steal third? You know, what's going on? And that's when, scrub back a little bit, watch right up here. Hello. See that little head spy hopping there? So he's got company, at least one, and you can scrub through here and see some what looks like other activity. So what is this beyond human capability thing I was talking about? Well, I'll show you. Watch him step off into this hole. He raises his leg all the way up, and then he just sort of drops. Watch how this knee drops to a 45, and then he falls all the way down waist deep. And look what he forgot back here behind him. He walked off and left his foot up on the rim back there where he stepped off. And he's still moving off, and only right there does his foot finally come off. Now, I don't know about you, but I generally keep my feet under me, and I don't leave them back behind me when I'm walking. Now, some of you might say, it's an illusion. This ridge right here only makes it look like he stepped off into a waist-deep hole. But no, because his foot is right up there where it was when he stepped off. So, and here it still is, and now it's about waist high on him, so that is a waist-deep hole. So when I saw this, I immediately went out and did some tests. Okay, so for my first test, I'm gonna just step off 3 steps at once, and I'm going to try to keep my trailing foot back on the back step just like the big guy did. And I'm also going to try to stick it so that my leading foot lands here and I don't budge. And also, I'm going to keep my torso completely upright, just like he does. That's what I'm shooting for. So let's give it a shot. That's pretty much a fail. Let's look at that. So here I go. That's me trying to keep this foot back there. There's no way in the world. You try it. Go step off 3 steps and see if you can keep your back foot on this step. There's no way. And another thing, my torso, yeah, I'm almost doubled over here. Remember he is completely upright. So on to the next test. Oh, and also it took me 1, 2, 3, yeah. I didn't nail it. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, for this test, I'm gonna try it without having to clear over the steps down below. And what I'm gonna do is, you're gonna see me hike my one leg up, my knee up high like he did, and then just try to kind of fall into it with my trailing leg kind of bent in a 45 the way his does. So here, let's just see how this goes. And also, I wasn't willing on this test to just walk off like he does. I'm gonna do it from a standstill. There's the hike, and another fail. And let's look at that again. So you can see my leg going up there like his, and this leg is gonna bend down into a 45 the way he does, and he just kind of falls off into the hole. But remember, his torso stays perfectly upright. And look, I am bent over there, and even without having to go out over extra steps, it still took me 2 or 3 steps to stop the momentum. Oh, and also, that's just knee high for me again. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe about 6 of these railroad ties. Maybe I would have to step off that many, and no, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, time for a little side-by-side comparison, me against the big guy. And I've got my leg hiked up like his, and my trailing leg is gonna drop into this 45, and watch, he just falls off into the hole now. I mean, it's the oddest thing. And look, he sticks it. He doesn't take another step, and his foot is still back from where he stepped off, and I'm stumbling off into a pinto over here. Also, his torso remains perfectly upright. His arms don't fly out, and I'm just flailing all over the place, And yet again, I'm only stepping off something half as tall as he is. There's no way I would step off something way up here. So now, if you ask me to just wildly speculate, okay, so what are we looking at? I think this goes beyond somebody just being in tremendous shape, or like a gymnast or something, just balance. I mean, gymnasts still have to balance themselves when they come off and hit the mat. This guy apparently doesn't. And the fact that his foot remains up there is impossible. So I'm going to say that is non-human. And, relax, there's lots of non-human things out there. Your dog is non-human, your cat is non-human, gorillas are non-human, bears are non-human, but I guarantee you, that's not a bear, that's not a gorilla, and I also don't believe it's any of the other 8 billion people on the planet. What it is, I don't know, but it seems better suited to be out running and jumping over rough terrain than I am. So now it's your turn to have, your chance for wild speculation. What are we looking at here? I know some of you are going to see a guy in a monkey suit who happens to be the most balanced, double jointed in his hips. I don't know what it would take. I'm just completely at a loss. I mean, other bipeds, they're not going to have the same biomechanics as we are. His leg seems to just naturally come up, where, remember my first test, my leg is bent straight down, my foot's trying to find the floor, whereas he takes this big crazy step off. So I don't know. We're seeing something different. And I pointed this out in my first video I ever did. It's called 21 Degrees Between Bigfoot and You. And it just points out biomechanics, how like in the Patterson-Gimlin film, what we see walking does not walk the way you and I walk. And it's not a matter of, well, we could walk that way. I'm saying it's physically impossible for any human to walk the way Patty does in the Patterson-Gimlin. So I'm really putting myself out there. But if you think I'm wrong, film yourself doing just like the big guy here. Prove that you can step off into waist-deep holes and keep your foot back behind you as you're moving off. And you know what? I'll post it for you, and I'll be the first to admit how wrong I am here, and how clumsy I am, and how you are just beyond flexible and beyond balanced. So anyway, guys, that's all I've got, and thank you very much for watching.